What is my favorite fruit? Probably apples. Do I have a favorite materia combo? I don't know about a favorite. There's a lot of different materia combos I like to do. You a traveler? Hey, wait, that glare in your eye. You and soldier? This is the only, like, really important story thing in Gungaga. Oh, you're right. Don't you know anything about our son? His name is Zach. It's been close to 10 years since he left for the city, saying that he didn't want to live in the country. He left saying he's going to join Soldier. You ever hear of a Zach and Soldier? I don't know. Zach. Zach. I don't know anything about that man, but the name sounds familiar. Why? Also, I believe... Correct me if I'm wrong, but Tifa gets upset here if she's in the party. There's like a whole discussion Cloud and Tifa have here. Also, main theme there. Eris does too. If Tifa and Eris are both in the party, which do you get? Also, single frog. I want to say Tifa. Oh, you do get both. Okay, that's cool. I don't think I've ever seen that. How's it going, Freak? There's Death Blow here, which is pretty nice. Death Blow is an interesting materia because basically it gives you an auto crit if you hit, but makes it harder to hit. But there's a couple interesting things with Death Blow. If you're in Fury, Death Blow is really bad. You will, like, never hit anything. But if you have a specific weapon, there's a bunch of specific weapons in the game that have 255 hit percent, so they always hit. And if you have one of those weapons and you equip Death Blow, it can be really strong. Usually people like to point out Vincent's weapons. Vincent has several weapons with auto hit, so him with Death Blow can be really good. Also, once again, because everything is multiplied in this game, you can get some really broken effects with Death Blow and like Tifa, with Tifa being in Berserk and using Death Blow and having the one of her weapons that gives her bonus damage based on ailments, which we'll talk about later. You can just get insane amounts of damage, and that's one of the biggest strats in the speedrun, is using Tifa's special weapons with Death Blow and stuff. So there's two fights I want to get here before we leave. Oh, you're back, Zoloff. So I told everyone when we went to the shop, there was a Fury Ring, and I said incoming discussion from Zoloff about the Fury Ring, but you weren't here. So go ahead and talk about the Fury Ring, because I know you want to. Okay, this is one of the fights I wanted. This fight is super nice because you can steal spider webs, which are really good. Because we bought time materia, it's not as good. It's actually better for like challenge runs when you can't use time materia. This is the only good way to give slow status. Yeah, we'll get that in a minute. Also, Stop Web is really annoying. Really annoying ability. Aha! Use your own garbage against you. This is an interesting fight. Okay, I have one other enemy I need to show off before we go to the reactor. Get ready for Nightmare Fuel. Nope, not the Dino Tank, he's next. A lot of people do not know this enemy exists. It's kind of rare. I always forget this thing exists. And then I see it, and the nightmares come back. No, I haven't learned Frog Song yet. Actually, should. Before we go. I don't need it because I have the items to do it, but... yeah, it is, because it gives sleep too. It's definitely worth getting. Frog Song is just a great ability. Super cheap, gives Frog and sleep. Not a boss, but a specific enemy that a lot of people dislike. Come on, Nightmare Fuel. Give me that Nightmare Fuel. I wonder if... I hope he doesn't only show up in the next screen. But I guess that's possible. That might be why he's rare. He might only show up in one of these screens. And I love Red 13's attack. Alright, let's go grab the material real quick, come back. How's it going, Swampy? So, fun fact about this materia. Well, before we get to that, let's talk about Dino Tank. So, Dino Tank is one of the most broken enemies in the game. He, if morphed, gives you a power source. And he's also the only enemy in this field. So, once you go to the temple and get morphed, if you come back here, you will get nothing but Dino Tanks, and every Dino Tank you fight, you can morph for a power source. So as early as Temple, you can get infinite strength on anyone you want, if you take the time to do it. And you might think, like, well, you could just do that by leveling up to level 99. But the thing about that is experience is balanced in that the higher level you get, the more experience you need to get another level. So, like, if you grind here forever to try to get to level 99, it will take a very, very long time and be less rewarding. but sources always give you 1 strength. So it does not take that long to sit here and morph 50 power sources and be way stronger than you should be for the whole rest of the game. There's multiple enemies that you can morph for different sources. You can go around the game and morphing them for different sources. But this guy not only gives you probably the most powerful one, which is power sources, but also he's the only enemy in this field, so it does not take very long to grind to get a super amount of strength. Yeah, for comparison, Cloud's strength right now is 41. So we could more than double Cloud's strength just by giving him 50 power sources here. Or you could grind 255 and make him do max damage for the whole rest of the game. Yeah, it just so happens that a lot of the morphable enemies are at reactors. That's kind of weird. It's true, though. Yeah, later on you can use the extended debut item glitch to multiply sources, but the point is, you can get the power sources so early. You know, like later, sure, you can do source farming, but it's later in the game anyways. This is like right after Temple, you can just become max damage all the time. So it's pretty wild. It's Scarlet, head of the Shinra weapon development. This isn't any good either. You only get junky materia from junky reactors. This reactor's a failure. What I'm looking for is big, large, huge materia. You seen any? No, I haven't seen it. I'll get on it right away. Please, we could make the ultimate weapon if we only had some. I just can't wait. With Hojo gone, the weapon development's been getting a bigger budget. I envy them. But even if we make the perfect weapon, could that stupid Heidegger even use it? Oh, sorry, I forgot Heidegger was your boss. Haha. Let's go. Big, large, huge materia, an ultimate weapon, the perfect weapon. Just what are the Shinra up to? How's it going, Turbo? Good to see ya. There's something shiny back there. So you get Titan here. Fun fact about Titan. There's a chest in Calm that when you go up to open it, it says locked. And there was a big conspiracy going around for a long time, a bunch of rumors online about how to open the chest, where the key is, what's inside of it, reviving Eris, all that stuff, right? Later on, once we got a hold of like the actual game code and field codes, we found out that there's nothing in that chest and there's no way to open it. And Titan was actually originally supposed to be in that chest. So basically, there was some way to get a key to open up that chest to get Titan materia. But then they decided later to put Titan here instead. And instead of removing the chest, they just left it locked and threw away the key. Which is pretty interesting, because why not just make it not give you the locked text? Why not just have it be a chest in the background that does nothing? Why make it seem like it opens somehow? But, you know, just Final Fantasy VII things. Yay, we got it! Alright, here's the cursed enemy I wanted to talk about. So, a lot of people probably have never seen this enemy. He's kind of rare. He's called Flower Prong. And he casts Bio 2, which hurts a lot. And he is Nightmare Fuel. Because when you attack him, he does this. Now he's a big creepy plant. And then he does this. And now he's a nightmare. Yeah. Oh. And he does damage, too. And puts everyone to sleep. Holy cow, that damage! Help! Wake up! Why can't I escape? That's weird. Oh, I think W Laser does percentage damage. Wow, this is something. Yeah, it does percentage. Can we wake up, please? So he poisons everyone and puts everyone to sleep, and then does a percentage damage attack that does not wake you up. Well, I guess this is the end. Holy cow. Okay, I couldn't run because I was sleeping. Yeah, so, nightmares. Yeah, it is very possible to do hundreds of playthroughs and never see that enemy. And it's funny that not only is he rare, but he's also like, oh, look at this cute little plant. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Alright. Get me out. Do it. He did it. Frog battle. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Uh-oh. No, I couldn't tell who I was targeting. Controlled by the camera. Oh, you're fine, Zach. Don't worry about it. Just cool it down with the questions. It's like constant questions. I can't answer them all, you know? Gotta do my thing. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the stream. Okay. We're good with that. Alright, it's time to talk about Cosmo Canyon. Though some of the noises from certain things on the Steam version not sound correctly compared to the OG. Probably? I don't know off the top of my head any, but probably. I think it's not... My guess is that it's not a Steam version thing, though, actually. It's probably a PC version thing. Because the sound chip in the PlayStation 1 was much different than the sound chip used for the PC version. So they probably had to change some stuff, and then the Steam version comes from the PC version. So they probably kept the PC sound effects. So that's my guess. I don't think it's necessarily a Steam thing. I think it's just that the Sound Blaster cards from back in the day had, like, different things. Okay, so I have a lot to talk about with Cosmo Canyon. So, man. How deep do I want to go? Because I could be here all day talking about it. So, in the Final Fantasy VII speedrun, in the PS1 version, there was a very long stretch where there weren't really any skipping of any areas. There was the Midgar raid skip, which we'll talk about later, which has been known about for a very, very long time. And then later, Suna skip was found, and that also works on console, so that allowed you to skip part of Midgar. But that was pretty much it. All of the crazy warping and beating the game in an hour and a half and all the crazy stuff, all that happens on Steam. But there was this thing called Cosmo Canyon skip, which was actually known about for many, many years. And we knew that it would work, but it didn't work without a cheat. So basically we found out that if you do a specific glitch with a chocobo, get in the buggy and drive the buggy all the way to this point, you could skip the part where the buggy breaks down and drive straight to Nibelheim, and it would skip Cosmo Canyon. And it worked on the PS1 version, but the catch was you couldn't get into an encounter. And there was no way to get all the way from where the chocobo glitch happens, which is at the desert, all the way to here without getting into an encounter. Then the PS4 version came out, and the PS4 version has those cheats that allow you to do God mode and no encounters. And so when the PS4 version came out, a bunch of people speedran the PS4 version and used the no encounter cheat to make Cosmo Canyon skip work. So once people started doing that, we had like definitive proof that yes, it does work, but you just can't get here without an encounter. If you cheated and gave yourself an enemy away materia, you could do it. But in a normal speedrun, there was no way to actually make it work, even though we knew it could work, right? So skip ahead to a couple months ago, and an absolutely insane human being named Mies Baker found a way to actually get all the way from the desert to here without getting into encounter, using a specific step count, which on the world map isn't just a step count, but is also based on your game time down below there, the 15 hours, 42 minutes. So you would have to save on a specific game time, and then take the buggy from the desert all the way to here, pixel perfectly, and you could just barely get here without getting into an encounter. And it took around 14 to 15 pixel perfect setups with the buggy. You would have to go like left until a specific pixel, and then down until a specific pixel, and then left to a specific pixel. You couldn't do any diagonal movement. It had to be all cardinal directions. And it took about 13 to 14 pixel perfect placements. So you would be like in the buggy, and you would move down until you saw maybe the nose of the buggy touch a specific pixel. And then you would know that's the right spot. And then you'd go left until you found a specific pixel, and then down. And You would do that all the way across, past Gungaga, all the way to here. And then you would go across, and you would have to exit the buggy on a specific pixel, and it would cause the Chocobo to run away, which would cover up the text box of you breaking down. Then you could drive all the way to Nibelheim. So it was the first big skip on the PS1 version. It skipped the entirety of Cosmo Canyon. It saved like 45 minutes or some ridiculous amount. And it was a really big deal when it happened. And then fast forward a couple months later, and it was actually found to be possible without the Chocobo at all. There's a very specific movement you can do to actually just skip over it entirely. So you don't need the Chocobo glitch, you don't need the pixel perfect measurements, you don't need the special game time. You can literally just drive the buggy up here with the right setup and just go right over it. And if I knew the setup by heart, I would do it right now to show it. But basically you just get past the part where the buggy breaks down, and you could drive right to Nibelheim and skip Cosmo Canyon. And it was big because it saved so much time, but it was also big because it was the first big sequence break in the PS1 version ever since Midgar Raid skip. And it's just really cool to know that like there is a way to skip a huge section of the story just by having the right placement. So even if you're not into the speedrun and stuff, it's just cool to know that you can skip Cosmo Canyon, which you wouldn't think would be possible because it's very important to the story. And yes, you don't actually have to have the buggy breakdown. You can just walk in here without breaking down the buggy, but if you try to go past, it breaks down. And yes, I don't know about you guys, but I used to sit here and just listen to this music for hours. I had to save, like, when I was a kid, it wasn't normal for me to actually keep multiple saves. But I specifically remember, even as a kid, I had a save on my memory card that I would load up that was just right here, and I would just listen to the music. I would turn it on, let the music play, do something else, do homework or something, and just listen to the song. And I think I'm not the only one that did that, from what I've heard from people in the community. I am home! It is I, Nanaki! Hey Nanaki, you're safe. Come on and say hello to Bugenhagen. Nanaki? What the heck is that? Welcome to Cosmo Canyon. Are you familiar with this land? Let me explain. People from all over the world gather here to seek the study of planet life. Oomga is full capacity at present, so I'm afraid I can't let you enter. They helped me some when I was on the road. Please let them in. Oh, is that so? You helped our Nanaki? Please, come in. Who is Nanaki? Nanaki is Nanaki, that's his name. I do not want Barrett. Anybody but Barrett? I don't know. Is there something in this room? Later? Or is this room literally not? Oh, I think Kate Sith is. No, not Kate Sith. Kate Sith, maybe? Someone's in that room at some point. No, Kate Sith is in the chef room. I don't know what that room is. So Cosmo Canyon skip works because there's a very thin line that when you pass that line, it activates the scene where the buggy breaks down. And by having a very specific subpixel placement, you can drive across that line without the game registering that you went over it. That's the only reason it works. It has nothing to do with flags or anything. It's just simply you're crossing over the line that activates it. The same thing happens with the Midgar Zolom skip that I showed previously, that scene where they're like, oh my god, did Sephiroth do that? It's the same thing. You open up the menu as you're crossing over the line, and when you exit the menu, you're on the other side of the line. Turtle Paradise number 5. I don't know why I did that, because you get rest anyways. How did Kate Sith? Never mind. I don't talk about it. Did you guys know that in the original... Yeah, have you ever read the original Wizard of Oz? I had to read the original Wizard of Oz for a class I took in college. And in the original Wizard of Oz, the journey is much longer. And they have to, like, sleep several days on their way to the Emerald City. And because the Tin Man and the Scarecrow aren't, like, real people, they're, like, objects come to life, they don't sleep. So they just watch. They just stand there and watch Dorothy sleep. And it says, like, specifically in the book, they just stand there and watch her as she sleeps. And that gave me, like, nightmares. So apparently that's what Kate Sith does, too. But yeah. If you ever get a chance, read the original Wizard of Oz. It's kind of wild. I don't know what it is with old movies and, like, taking the worst things to take their ideas from. Like, a lot of old Disney films came from horrible fairy tales. Where's the other poster? I forget. Isn't it, like, outside? I got the one upstairs. Which one's the weapon shop? The one up... Oh no, it's in the weapon. That's right. I remember now. It's right by the save point. Here's where I was. I mean, this is my hometown. My tribe were protectors of those who appreciate this beautiful canyon and the planet. My brave mother fought and died here, but my cowardly father left her. I am the last of my race. Cowardly father? Yes, my father was a wastrel. And so the mission I inherited from my ancestors is to protect this place. My journey ends here. Anunnaki, you're home! Coming, Grandpa! Rest, rest, rest! I want to rest! There, it's decided! Alright. Here it is. Now hiring. There's some good weapons here too, I believe. But I probably have no money. Yeah, Butterfly Edge. Prism Staff is a waste of money. Pinwheel is good. I love that you have every weapon but a Red 13 weapon. Even though it's... Oh, no, never mind. Corey's there. I just can't see how good it is because he left the party. There's also silver armlets, which are really good. I don't have anything I can sell, do I? I mean, I could sell armor, but there's not much point. Aren't bad to sell. Yeah, we're very close to the point where armor is never going to be necessary again, so don't really need to worry about silver armor. Silver armlet has the same slots as the Shinra Beta too. They just have a bit more defense. So instead, I'll buy the pinwheel. Pinwheel's really good, because I don't think we get a good Yuffie weapon for a bit. The Silver Beret is completely useless. Because of a certain weapon that we get soon. Certain special sauce. So, this room's important, but not until we go talk to Grandpa. Yeah, make sure to up that magic defense. There's materia here, but I don't think it's anything specific. I picked Yuffie for a very specific reason that I'll explain later. Red 13 I just picked because I like him. And I had to pick someone. Oh yeah, HP plus and MP plus here. I think people sleep on HP plus and MP plus way too much. They are so good, especially if you get them early and level them up. That's why I get that HP plus from the Rufus minigame, because if you can keep it leveling up, it gets really, really strong. Something about Kate Sith just standing here watching him cook. This place seems like it has a lot of secrets. So when's dinner? You are a robot. I don't understand. Cloud, this is my grandfather, Bugan. He is incredible. He knows everything. Oh ho ho! I hear that you looked after Nanaki a bit. Nanaki is still a child, you see. By the way, did you know that that green thing underneath Bugenhagen is a ball? It's supposed to be a ball. He floats, he like sits cross-legged over the ball. And then his coat goes over it. And that's why he looks like that. He doesn't just like have no legs and flies, which is what I always thought. Yeah, see if I can find... I believe the first time you really see it is in Before Crisis. Which, in Before Crisis, it looks completely ridiculous. In Before Crisis, the graphics are so bad that I think it just looks like he's standing on top of it. Yeah, it kind of looks like he's just standing on top of it, but... yeah, there you go. Now that looks completely different than in this game, because in this game the ball looks like it's barely bigger than his body. Here it's like huge! But... yeah, that's what they were trying to get across, was that he's sitting on a ball. He put it in the washing machine and it shrunk. Yeah, he's using arrow materia, that's why we can never get it. Please stop, grandfather, I'm 48. Ho ho ho, Nanagi's drive has incredible longevity. So you see his 48 years would only be equivalent to, say, that of a 15 or 16-year-old in human reckoning. 15 or 16? I like how you're shocked about that, but Yuffie's younger. He's quiet and very deep. You thought he was an adult? Grandfather, I want to be an adult. I want to grow up to be able to protect you in the village. Oh ho ho! No, Nanaki, you can't stand on your own yet. To To do that now would destroy you in the long run. Reaching up into the heavens, threatening to snatch the very stars from the great city of Midgar. You've seen it, haven't you? Well, that's a bad example. Looking up too much makes you lose perspective. When it's time for this planet to die, you'll understand that you know absolutely nothing. When the planet dies, ho ho ho, it may be tomorrow or 100 years from now, but it's not long off. How do you know this? I hear the cries of the planet. I always thought it was interesting that Bugenhagen can hear the cries of the planet, because that's supposed to be an ancient-only thing, but I guess he's just so old that he has the knowledge of the ancients. What's that? Because it is possible for people that aren't ancients to have the knowledge of the ancients, because that's what Sephiroth does. He just has really big ears. Oh, you're right. Yuffie is 16, so technically maybe older, or the same age. The sounds of the stars in the heavens. While this goes on, planets are born and die. He also grew up in Cosmo Canyon with all of the Red 13s that do their special thing for the planet. I don't know if it's ever decided if Red 13 can hear the planet. Like his race, if they could hear the planet. What was that? Ho ho ho, that was a scream from this planet. Didn't you hear it? As if to say, I hurt, I suffer. They have come here on a journey to save the planet. Why don't you show them your apparatus? Ho ho ho, to save the planet? Ho ho ho! But then again, I guess it wouldn't hurt to show them. Bugenhagen doesn't believe in our journey. Bugenhagen! Several odd-looking people have come. The whole place has gotten busy all of a sudden. He brought friends too. I'll go get them. The way Red 13 walks. Cloud, please call one of them. Only 3 people can fit in Grandfather's machine. Don't even remember what's over here. Oh yeah. The big view. Cloud just looks like a mess of pixels. They knew how awesome Cosmo Canyon was, that they have like so many different views of it. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so here's the important thing I wanted to talk about. This is where you can glitch the Barrett date to always happen. I believe you say yes to the first thing, no to the second thing, and you can loop it forever, and Barrett can get infinite date points, and then you can get the Barrett date every time. You have to be careful though, because if you do it too much, you can actually overflow it. So instead of having a super high amount of points, he gets a super low amount of points. So yeah, we have to make the decision right now if we want to do the Barrett date or not. I was going to do the Tifa date because it's the one I always did as a kid. And it's more canon-ish. I think the Aerith date is the most canon, but the Barrett date's more of a joke. So we already kind of worked on the Tifa date, so Barrett bait, Barrett bait. Do a poll. Barrett bait prevents us from hearing interrupted by fireworks. That's true. Well, the other thing too is if you do the Barrett bait, you don't get to do the theater at all. It's skipped. You're public demands. Well, Cloud and Tifa were always meant for each other. Doesn't mean the Tifa date is canon. I believe that the Aerith date is canon because it's the easiest one to get, and it would make sense for this part of the game because Cloud is still Zack in his brain. But yes, Cloud and Tifa are meant to be together regardless. That's the whole point of the plot in Aerith. Maybe Viertis. So yeah, you say, oh wait, I think I have to pick. You don't have to do it before this, do you? Huh. That's weird. Did I screw it up? I thought you did it here, but maybe you do it before, but Barrett wasn't in my party and he wasn't here. To look into that. I don't remember. See, I was pretty sure that you talked to him before you talked to Bugenhagen. But he wasn't in here for some reason. Not sure. Well, we're not getting the Dare bait anyway, so. Oh, yeah, he has to be in your party. Really? I thought it was the opposite. Because I thought if he wasn't in your party, then he'd be there. Because that's how Costa del Sol works. In Costa del Sol, whoever's not in your party is chilling in Costa. Here, over here, the door's unlocked. Come on in. Yeah. See, I just thought everyone was available because the party splits up anyways. But I guess you have to have Barrett in your party, and then he leaves the party, and then he shows up there. That's so strange. Man, that is wild. So, like, even though the party splits up on the stairs, only the people you have in your party actually show up. But then once you talk to Bugenhagen, they all show up. So, like, why don't they show up before? That's weird. Oh ho, it looks like you have them all together. Then let's begin. I'll stand there. Or you'll stand there. You stand there. Someone stand there. Right, yeah, that's really strange. So yeah, if you want to get the Darrett bait, you need to have Barrett in your party when you walk into Cosmo Canyon, and then when he leaves, you have to go talk to him before you go talk to Bugen. And you have to say yes to the first thing, no to the second thing, I believe. And you do that over and over. I would do it like 12 or 13 times, maybe. But don't do it any more than that. Wow, it's just like the real thing. Yes, pretty good. This is my laboratory. All the workings of space are entered into the 3D holographic system. This is also one of the fields where Cloud can randomly be giant and upside down for no reason. Look, a shooting star! This is where the game really shows off the cutscenes. This scene blew my mind when I was a kid. And also, Lifestream is one of the best songs in the game. Yeah, I listen to Lifestream a lot. It's on my playlist that I play when I'm... Well, I don't play it anymore, but back in college I had a playlist that I would play when I was falling asleep. Because sometimes I would sleep on campus. And it'd be loud, so I'd have like music to play. Lifestream was one of the songs on my sleep playlist. Oh, this is amazing! Oh ho ho! Yes, it is something, isn't it? Well, let's get to the subject. Eventually, all humans die. What happens to them after they die? The body decomposes and returns to the planet. That much everyone knows. What about their consciousness, their hearts, and their souls? The soul, too, returns to the planet. And not only those of humans, but everything on this planet. In fact, all living things in the universe are the same. The spirits that return to the planet merge with one another and roam the planet. They roam, converge, and divide, becoming a swell called the life stream. Life stream, in other words, a path of energy of the souls roaming the planet. Spirit energy is a word that you should never forget. A new life, children are blessed with spirit energy and are brought into the world. Then the time comes when they die and once again return to the planet. Of course, there are exceptions. This is the way of the world. I don't really know what the exceptions are, by the way. I've digressed, but you'll understand better if you watch this. This was the first game I played that truly had, like, world building to this degree. And it still, like, is one of the biggest reasons why I love this game so much, is that the world building is so good. It's so interesting to hear how the world works like this, and how all the planets work like this. And then when you learn about Genova and how that all ties in. Oh, all the playthroughs for Fantathon are just casual playthroughs of the most original versions. Spirit energies make all things possible. Trees, birds, and humans. Not just living things, but spirit energy makes it possible for planets to be planets. How's it going, Dutch? How's it going, Chryso? What happens if that spirit energy were to disappear? These are the basics of the study of planet life. If the spirit energy is lost, our planet is destroyed. Oh ho ho! Spirit energy is efficient because it exists within nature. When spirit energy is forcibly extracted and manufactured, it can't accomplish its true purpose. You're talking about Mako energy, right? Every day, Mako reactors suck up spirit energy, diminishing it. Spirit energy gets compressed in the reactors and processed into Mako energy. All living things are being used up and thrown away. In other words, Mako energy will only destroy the planet. The story of the planets and those who lived with them. You want to know more? Then you must listen to the words of the elders. So this room is kind of strange also. For some reason, a couple of the character models have really weird tinting in this room. We'll see that later, though, in the scene where they're all in here talking. So I wanted to talk about something here because we just learned about the world and the live stream and Mako energy and stuff. So I wanted to pause for a second and talk about one of the coolest things in the compilation lore that I learned about only a couple of weeks ago, and it like blew my mind. I just thought it was the coolest thing I had ever read about Final Fantasy VII, and it's a shame that a lot of people don't know about it. I didn't know about it till just recently. And it's such a cool concept that I would watch like a whole movie about it, or I would play a whole game about just that if they made it, if they went further with it, right? So hold on, let me take a drink. Okay, so stick with me here, because we're going like full compilation for a minute. But, so, Dirge of Cerberus. In Dirge of Cerberus, is the PS2 game with Vincent, and it's a shoot-'em-up game. So a lot of people didn't play it, because it's more of a shoot-'em-up action game. But Dirge of Cerberus actually talks a lot about some of the stuff that happens in Final Fantasy VII, some of Vincent's past, a lot about Hojo. and stuff. But it also introduces Deep Ground and Proto-Materia and all this crazy stuff that you may or may not actually care about, because it's really, it's very down the rabbit hole, like stuff that doesn't really necessarily, a lot of the stuff in it, it's hard to believe that they had that stuff even relatively thought about when they made this game. Some of it, though, you read about it and you're like, maybe they had that idea for the original and they just didn't have enough time to implement it. A lot of the stuff with Vincent's story feels like it could have been in the original. And there's even scenes in this game that show some of Vincent's past, but not a ton because he's an optional character. So it's really great to play Dirge, if nothing else, just for Vincent's story, because it really is important to the original game. And I personally think that a lot of that would have been in this game had Vincent not been a optional character. So anyways, what I want to talk about was Omega Weapon. So the way that the world works, as you probably know, is people die, they turn into life stream energy, returns to the planet, blah blah blah, right? So there's two concepts that Dirge of Cerberus introduces. One of them is Chaos, which is Vincent's final form, final limit in this game, but it's not really explained what it is, it's just demon. The way Chaos is explained in Dirge of Cerberus is Chaos is basically the harbinger of the planet. He is summoned when the planet is no longer able to continue the way it is, like humanity has completely worn out its welcome. The planet will create chaos, and the only thing that chaos is meant to do is end all life on the planet. That's its only job. It's summoned, it kills everything, and turns everything into lifestream energy, and returns all the lifestream energy to the planet. But the planet no longer creates new life. No longer do people have babies and lifestream enters the baby and becomes a baby. Instead, it just ends all life, and all the energy comes back to the planet to one big life stream ball, right? Then, the planet creates Omega Weapon. And if you know about the weapons are basically giant monsters that the world creates when it's in dire straits. Like when it knows that something is attacking it, when meteors coming, whatever. It summons the weapons to try to protect itself, right? Well, Omega Weapon is the final button, the final nuke button, basically. And instead of being a monster that protects the planet, instead, Omega Weapon is literally a airship for Lifestream. It is the rocket for Lifestream. So the Omega Weapon gets created, it sucks up all the Lifestream of the planet, and then takes off and finds a new planet. So basically, Omega comes out, kills everyone, all the Lifestream gets absorbed into the planet, and then Omega Weapon sucks up all the Lifestream and takes off, and then starts over on another planet. So, first of all, that's just a really, really cool, like, wow, that just blew my mind. Like, what an amazing concept, right? Like, what an amazingly cool concept of a planet basically hitting the reset button. But in order for the planet to hit the reset button, it has to kill all life on the planet, because we all take up life energy, right? So all of the people take up life energy, so in order to save the planet, it has to first kill everything on the planet so that all the life stream can return. And then Omega Weapon is basically an arc that takes all the life stream energy. But it's such a cool concept that in order to save itself, it has to end all life first. Like, what a crazy concept, right? But then, we were talking about that on stream a couple weeks ago, because when I had first read it, I had to bring it up on stream, because I was like, isn't this really cool? And we started to talk about whether or not Genova is an Omega Weapon. Isn't that a wild idea? That Genova isn't actually an alien whose sole purpose is to just take over a planet and kill it, but instead it's an Omega Weapon from a different planet that took off and landed on this planet and started infecting. Not maybe Genova cells aren't what we think it is. Genova cells aren't just an actual like poisonous cell, but it's just a separate life stream. It's just another life stream that our planet isn't used to. So it's like an infection because it's a different type of life stream. Life stream B or whatever, and ours is life stream A, and they don't mesh together, right? So that turned into this whole other discussion that we had about that, but I wanted to bring it up because it's just such a cool concept. Like, yeah, like if Geostigma was actually just Lifestream B and Lifestream A basically butting heads. It's not necessarily a poison, it's just they're different. But whether or not you think Genova is an Omega weapon or she's actually just an alien that destroys, the whole concept of Chaos and Omega weapon is just really, really cool. And then Protomateria also goes into that. Protomateria is the ultimate materia. And the planet created the Protomateria specifically. And there's a bunch of stuff with that and Chaos and how Protomateria and Chaos works. But that's just the general concept. Yeah, and then some people brought up Lavos as well because people like to say that Lavos is connected to Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, I just love that concept of Chaos ending life on the planet and then Omega being an arc for the life stream. I just thought that was one of the coolest concepts for anything ever. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't ever hear about that because Dirge of Cerberus is kind of a side game that's also a very different style game. So a lot of people didn't play it. I owned it as a kid and didn't play it much. But along with explaining a lot of Vincent's story, it also has really cool, crazy concepts like that. And who knows, maybe that concept appears in the remake, because the remake is, I won't spoil anything, but the remake is officially using at least some compilation lore. We know that for a fact now. So, who knows, maybe we get Omega Weapon and Chaos in the remake, and like, how cool would that be? How's it going, Go Trunks? Hey, thanks so much, man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for being here. And Mavic, thank you for the gifted sub to Go Trunks. Yeah, we were talking about that, Marl and Chrono Trigger. A lot of people like to connect Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII for a number of reasons. So it's cool to see that. Yo, Big Red, thank you for the 27 months. Welcome back, man. This is one of my favorite text conversations in the game. Cosmo Canyon. This is where Avalanche was born. I promised my guys someday, when we saved the planet from the Shinra, that we'd all go to Cosmo Canyon and celebrate. Biggs, Wedge, Jesse. Now they're all gone. Died for the planet. Really? To save the planet? We all hate the Shinra. Do I even got a to go on? Do I even got a to go on? I don't know what they changed that to in the Steam version. Will they? Will they ever forgive me? Right now, I really don't know, but I know one thing. If there's anything I can do to save the planet or the people living on it, then I'm gonna do it. I don't care if it's for justice or revenge or whatever. I don't care. Let them decide for themselves. I'm gonna do it! Again! Again! Avalanche is born again! I love it. I really like that line where he says, like, I don't care what it's for, let the other people decide. Like, that's such a great... I don't know if it really applies to everything, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for yourself, and it doesn't necessarily matter what other people, like, think the reason is. Like, let them decide what the reason is. I know why I'm doing it, you know? What a boring place, just like I thought. I want to go somewhere. Let's go find some materia. I wonder how many years it's been. Gosh, it brings back memories. So, actually, that line, I never thought about this. That line from Reeve is really interesting, because I think Reeve may or may not have been here when they captured Red 13. In Before Crisis, it shows the scene where the Turks come and capture Red 13 and take him to the HQ. I kind of wonder if that's what he's referencing. He's referencing sometime that he came to Cosmo Canyon. I learned a lot. The Elders taught me many things about the Cetra and the Promised Land. I'm alone. I'm all alone now. But we're here for you, right? I know, but I am the only Cetra. Does that mean we can't help? Yes, it does. Cloud. Bonfires are funny, aren't they? They make you remember all sorts of things. You know, Cloud, 5 years ago... It's nothing. No, forget it. I'm afraid to ask. What is it? It feels like you're going far away. You really, really are you, right? Really important text there, because this is yet another time where Tifa wants to tell him the truth, but can't. Can't bring herself to do it. Wonder how the story would change if she told him the truth, like, right now. Kinda wild to think that. Long ago, when I was still very small, we were all around this flame. Nope, never mind. What happened? It's about my parents. When I talk about my mother, I am full of pride and joy, and that's fine. When I remember my father, my heart is full of anger. You really can't forgive your father? Of course, he left my mother for dead. The Gi tribe attacked, he ran off by himself, leaving mother and the people of the canyon. Come, Nanaki, there's something you should see. The place may be dangerous. Cloud, will you and one other person come with us? Yeah, there's a good chance that if Tifa told him the truth way back at the 7th Heaven, or even now, he just wouldn't accept it. Like, I don't know if he's moved far enough. Like, he has to break his psyche first before he can rebuild it. You know what I mean? That's kind of the important thing about what happens, is in order to rebuild his psyche and become himself again, he first has to be broken. Which is a really great metaphor for, like, a lot of what we go through. Sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom before you can start moving back up. You know what I'm saying? How's it going, Caramelistical? I said that right. I was wondering how you felt about Sephiroth getting added to Smash Bros. I thought it was cool. I didn't think much else of it, though. We were actually talking about this yesterday. See you, Big Red. Have a good one. We were talking about this yesterday. When Sephiroth was added to Smash Bros., a lot of people were saying, like, finally, he's established as an important character in video game history. And I was like, really? That's like the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, there's this weird thing now where people think that characters are kind of like etched into the history books as an important character once they hit Smash Bros. Which I understand why they think that, but it's a really silly thing to think, because for one, it's a Nintendo game. So, like, it's mostly characters that are relevant to Nintendo. It doesn't mean that they're important to video games in general. It's just a one Nintendo game, right? And second of all, not everyone can make it into Smash Bros. It's more about who fits into Smash Bros. Well. So even if you have a character that's super important to video game history, like Super Meat Boy, he's not going to be in Smash because he doesn't fit in Smash. So it like makes no sense. But somehow, some people are like, yes, finally, Sephiroth's in Smash. Now he's an important video game character. And I'm like, no. He's been that for a long time. But, no, I thought it was cool. The trailer that showed him was incredible. One of the greatest trailers I've ever seen. Because not only was it like shock value and just a really well-made trailer, but they captured Sephiroth really well, which is rare to do when you put a character that exists in another universe into something else. It's hard to really capture them. But they captured him so well in that trailer. I thought it was great. So, yeah, I was hyped. I thought it was great. And he's a pretty fun character to play, too. Oh ho ho! Are we all set? Oh ho ho! Shall we go? Alright, come in, come in! Hey, aren't you going with us, Grandpa? What are you, crazy? It's dangerous in there, I told you that. You want an old man like me? You want an old man like me should go first. I'll be right behind you. Okay, let me look at the time here. It's 5... We've been... it's 1:30 now. If we break for lunch now, then that would be like perfect timing. And we can leave here and save, but I'm gonna pretend like you can't leave and save. So, aw man, guys, I guess we gotta do a double day today because I can't leave and save. We gotta do the dungeon. I can't, there's no save point. So I guess we gotta do a double day. No, you can't leave. You can't leave. It's impossible. There's an invisible wall here. Can't. Nope, don't look. Don't look. Don't look at what he just said. You can't leave. Alright, we're gonna do a double day today because you guys are so amazing and so supportive today, and I appreciate it so much. So we're gonna do a double day today. But I'm gonna go get some food. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Go to the bathroom, grab a snack, do what you gotta do. And we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll keep going. Thank you so much for being here today. See you, Zuloff. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support and just being amazing today. It means the world to me, and I'm so glad you're all here. For those of you that aren't here normally, a double day is where we go for another 4 hours. Normally we do this for 4 hours a week, and then we do something else for the rest of the day. But sometimes we do double days, so we do this for a full 9 hours. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go get some food. I'll be back, and then we're going to keep going.